Hello again and welcome to Andy and Katie's Allotment. I'm Andy and welcome to our YouTube channel, Andy and Katie's Allotment. First of all, I'd just like to say that we're a year old, so happy birthday to our channel. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that's watched all of our videos over the last year and seen us from when things were absolutely overgrown, when it was just weeds and grass and just nothing there at all as far as any kind of planting was concerned, to now when I've got lots of things that are very much growing and very much producing lots of welcome food. So as I say, welcome to anybody that's new. But also, thank you, as I said, to all the people that have taken the time to watch the videos, but also, not only that, but to subscribe and to make comments about the way that I'm doing things and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And that's what it's all about, and that's what I'm doing this channel for. So, what I'm going to do today, today is the 8th of August. So I'm going to give you a bit of a tour around and see how things are going. So here we go. So here we are where we normally start, and that's at the compost heap. So this is bay number 3, and as you can see, it's relatively full. The two plants that you can see, I planted a couple of chilies in there just to see how it goes. Just really because I think there is a little bit of heat in there. It's still sort of 30, 35 under the surface, so they might just benefit from that little bit of extra warmth. So that's my empty bay at the minute, so that's going to get turned this bay into. So this started on the 24th of the 7th, which is the same day as I turned bay 2 into bay 1 into bay 3. So that was on the 24th. So all that you can see there is a couple of weeks worth of grass clippings, and I put some wood chip in there just to get it going, and that will be what I'll use probably next year now. So that's the compost. Moving over, so what we can see here is a curry squash. K-U-R-I, curry squash, and this is really taken off. This is just one plant. And if I just move over, put my hand in there, you can sort of see the size, and that's more or less fully grown, that one. So it won't really grow much bigger, but it will turn to a bright orange colour. You can see there's another one there. But then what happens is it sends out vines like that one. As you can see, there's a tiny little one starting to form at the end, and that's what it does. So every so often it'll form another flower with a squash at the end of it, and hopefully I'll get quite a few squashes just from this one plant. It's not like somewhere you only get 2 massive ones, because they're only sort of, well, the nickname of this plant is an onion squash, because the squashes aren't much bigger than onions. That one looks quite a bit bigger than an onion, but that's their nickname. And then where you see the little knuckles sort of in between the leaves, what happens there is it roots into the ground. Probably see it better on that one. So where you see that little flower there, So at that little junction there, it's started to root, and what happens then obviously is that feeds further along the vine, and then we've got another one the same this side. So there's like two small or two vines that have gone out from the main plant. I'm just going to let them go and see what happens. So yeah, that's curry squash. What you can see, the green leaves in there are celery. Still coming along, not really had anything from them yet. I did try some, but it wasn't quite ready. The stalks weren't very long, so I'm just going to leave them for a while. Moving over to this one. Now I've had about 3 courgettes off there. You can see it's round ones. They do look more like a squash than a courgette, but they are. This one is a round courgette. So that's what I'm doing on there, and that one will be ready. Well, I could eat it now, but it'll be ready probably in another 3 or 4 days, something like that. Moving over to the parsnips, they're growing along nicely, and I'm having a bit of an experiment. Some people say you can't grow peas at this time of year, but I'm giving them a go. See if I can get any later peas. These are the Monge 2 type, the flat Monge 2. So they did really well in the spring. So I thought I'm not going to lose anything, because this is just a bit of spare ground where the broccoli was, and that's all gone now and in the compost heap. So there we go. You can see there, all just starting to ripen. There's some chilies. Again, took those out of the greenhouse and literally just plonked it in. I'm just going to see how it goes. So what we've got here is some cabbage. It's got a bit got by the bird, but it seems to be recovering again now, so I think they're alright. Now, something a bit more concerning is the Brussels sprouts, because at first glance, you know, you can see that they're looking good, and sprouts are starting to form under the base of the leaves there. But on a few of the plants, got caterpillars. I'm presuming these are going to be cabbage white butterflies that you can see are on a few of the plants there. See them moving around. I've tried to get rid of them, but I think there's too many of them. They've all hatched at once, and they're giving the leaves a good nibble, which I think they'll still be alright. I think they're a robust enough plant now to probably survive. So, moving down the bed to the purple sprouting broccoli. So this will probably won't grow much more now this year, and I'll just sit in the ground and over winter, and then hopefully come March time start to really take off, and then give me some spears of broccoli, the purple sprouting broccoli, April time. So now we've got, again, looks a bit moth-eaten. This is the Cavolo Nero kale, so I'm just letting that go because it looks as if it's doing okay, but I think it needs to be a bit bigger really before I start to harvest it or take the moth-eaten leaves off. Something that's growing really well is the French beans. So these are the little bush type ones, and yeah, so these are the white flowers. So these are going to be green pods, I think. So they're growing along nicely. And then at the other end, is the purple variety. So these flowered quite a lot earlier than the white ones. So they are quite a lot further on. And if you have a look down, you can see there the beans are starting to really come along. So I think I'll have quite a good harvest here in the next, I don't know, couple of weeks hopefully. I've never grown these before, so it is all a bit of a guess, but maybe a couple of weeks. Over the other side, I'll just go down a bed. That is endive or endive, and it's the frisee variety that yeah, forms a heart. So they're coming along quite nicely now. A bit of weeding needs doing in this one. Then what we've got is carrots, and in between them I've sown some mixed spicy mix of lettuce. But then what I've done here is I've planted some more French beans. So it's a bit like a succession sowing, in the fact that, you know, these all come along. As you can see, they're a lot smaller because I planted them a month or so later than what I did the ones that were already starting to begin to crop. So these are the tomatoes that are growing outside. I've sort of given them a bit of TLC. I've pruned them down a bit, put a post in for them. Variety on the right's Velocity. So they're more like a beefsteak, I think. It's a Velocity beefsteak one. There's 2 or 3 different varieties of Velocity, but these are more the beefsteak ones. And then this one is Roma, and these, as you can see there, are cherry tomatoes, not cherry tomatoes, the oval shaped ones, which name escapes me at the minute. Plum tomatoes, that's the word. So I've got, at the minute it looks like a large courgette, but that's actually a marrow, so that's starting to really come along and swell. Then we've got yellow courgettes, and there we've got some more cabbages. They're again going to be overwintered probably, and come along in the spring. We move back past the beans. This bed here is some, yeah, mixture of different sorts of salad crops and brassicas. I think I mentioned in the July video that the pak choy, which is the ones to the right that you can see a flower in, I must have planted those at the wrong time, along with the Japanese greens, because they're all starting to flower. So then I've got kohlrabi, which looks to be doing quite well, which is the cabbage looking leaves and the big ones. And then what I've got here is chicory that will grow big red hearts, and again, it's a bitter type leaf, but you put that into salads. And they're growing along quite nicely now. So, quick look at this bed, which is another squash plant, which is just starting to, as you can see at the back, put out a vine. Planted some more chard over at the back there, which is doing quite well. Now, this bed is obviously the sweet corn. So, ones with the red tassels, they're baby sweet corn. so I'm not quite sure how they work, because obviously you get the small heads, or the small cobs should I say, that you eat the whole thing of. Well, I'm not quite sure how these work, or how these grow. I'm just letting them go and see how we get on. These are the normal sweet corn, which are quite a bit smaller, but are starting to get some cobs on. That one, if I try and zoom in, there, you can see it's quite a nice, getting quite to be a nice size. So there's probably half a dozen. You might get 3 or 4 nice size ones on there. So that bed was main crop potatoes, so they've gone. Harvested them. Got probably 10, I don't know, 15 kilos maybe of mainly Maris Piper potatoes. So they're all gone. So this is my original chard. So this chard has been cropping now for, well, since probably May time. So, and it's still showing no signs of slowing down. And a couple of times I've really, chopped it back. So it just keeps coming and coming. At the back, there's some beetroot that I put in. Starting to bolt now, so probably coming to the end of its life, but I can see 1 or 2 sort of golf ball size ones there, which are quite nice. Just a quick look at this one, the courgette plant. So there's a couple there that, again, I could harvest now. In fact, I might take a couple off there because there's 2 or 3. If you're not careful, they just competing for that moisture and for the sunlight. I've already taken some of the leaves off this one because it was sort of shading the plant as a whole, but yeah, doing really well, because this one was quite a late one. So if we come back across past the shed to the final bed, which is cauliflowers. So to the right is green Romanescos. So they're the ones that have the sort of pyramid shaped, unusual flowers. And yeah, so they're growing quite nicely under the net there. And then to the left, this side, are just normal cauliflowers, normal all year round they're called. So yeah, doing really well. Trying to think a little bit ahead. I've planted some more stuff this afternoon. Most of this is going to be sort of for autumn harvest. I've put 2 lots of turnips in there. I put some more beetroot, some red Russian kale, some normal kale, some spring onions, and Offenheimer cabbage. Now the cabbage and the spring onions, they are going to overwinter, so they will be planted when they get to a reasonable size and just sit there until spring, and then that's when they'll take off and hopefully get some early cabbage and some early spring onions. So finally into the greenhouse. You can see starting to get quite a lot of tomatoes. I've taken a lot of the leaves off to try and get the plants to, because we've had such a poor summer as far as sun and warmth is concerned, I've tried to get the plants to put as much energy into ripening the fruit by taking not all of the leaves off, but quite a few of the leaves to say get them to put their energies into ripening the fruit. Starting to get a few. As you can see there, that's a Tigerella that's just coming up to being ripe. Could take that one. And then there's some little Sun Gold right at the bottom there. What we've got coming now is a cucumber. It's one of the smaller varieties, the little knobbly ones, so that won't be long before it's ready. And then there's another one up that at the top there, and then we've got a variety called Telegraph, which is your normal kind of cucumber. As you can see, there's one there that's coming along nicely. What I've done with the tomatoes is, like there you can see a big truss, and at the end of the truss there was just a bit like a flower, I suppose, at the end of the truss. And I've been told that you can get a lot better results if you take that end off. So I'll show you on that one. As you can see, lots of flowers. So as that one gets a bit bigger and starts to form the tomatoes towards the rear of the truss, what I'll do is I'll just take the very front flowers off, so that you're not overloading the plant. You can see it quite clearly on that one. I've nipped the end of the truss off. In another few weeks' time, I'm going to take the tops off all the tomatoes. So again, they're not growing upwards; they're putting all their energy into forming the fruit and then ripening it. So, got another cucumber plant which I grew from seed that I put in quite late, but it's doing really well now. I've got it growing quite well. Something that's quite interesting is chilies and peppers. I've got, these are the, the posh long ones that look like a large chilli that you get in the supermarkets. So they're growing quite well now. There's one there, another one there, two more there, so and another one there. So there's 4 or 5 there, really nice ones. And then what I've got growing here is, these are a bit of a novelty. These are called foot-long chilies for the reason that they form really long fruits. And then what we've got there is a bell pepper, but it's a chocolate brown colour, so it's a chocolate pepper, along with that plant there, which is the same. So that's the end of my first year anniversary tour of the allotment. Say 8th of August. Our anniversary was on the 2nd, but this is the first time that I've been able to get down and do the video. So just to repeat that it's been an absolute pleasure to share what we're doing with you, and we'd like to continue to do that over the next 12 months. So please, if you haven't already subscribe, and if you have, continue supporting us. And once again, thanks very much, and see you next time. Happy gardening.